Have you ever felt like your story began long before you were born? Like the choices you make, the fears you carry, and the patterns you live through are echoes of someone else's life. This isn't your imagination. According to Carl Jung's teachings, what we inherit is not only genetic, it's energetic, emotional, archetypal. The wounds of the women before us don't just disappear with time. They settle quietly in our nervous systems, our relationships, and the way we see ourselves. This is the weight of a feminine lineage that has endured silence, suppression, self-denial. But what if healing this legacy didn't mean denying it, but rewriting it, not out of anger, not out of rebellion, but out of love? Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming fully ourselves. And in the context of the feminine lineage, this means peeling away the roles, the guilt, the conditioning passed down for generations to rediscover who we truly are beneath them. Maybe you've noticed it in small ways, that feeling that you must always put others first, that you shouldn't be too loud, too ambitious, too different. Maybe you felt guilty for wanting a life that looks nothing like your mother's or your grandmother's. This guilt isn't personal, it's inherited. Healing the feminine lineage begins with awareness. It's recognizing that not everything we carry belongs to us. Sometimes we are simply the ones who've been chosen to break the cycle. And breaking the cycle doesn't mean cutting ties. It means looking back with clarity. It means honoring the strength of the women who came before you, while refusing to inherit their pain as destiny. Jung taught that what remains unconscious will continue to govern our lives until we choose to face it. So we begin by bringing the shadow into the light. The shadow, in Jungian psychology, is everything we suppress because it doesn't fit who we think we should be. For women, this shadow often includes their needs, their anger, their boundaries, their desires. We've learned to adapt, to survive, to smile through exhaustion, to give when we are empty, to stay silent when something inside us is screaming to be heard. This isn't your fault. It's a pattern, and patterns can be changed when we stop running from them and start listening. Every time you feel the urge to shrink, to please, to avoid conflict, that's not just your personality. That might be the echo of centuries of women being told their worth lies in how well they care for others, how quiet they can be, how much they can endure. But there's another path, a quieter, deeper voice that has always lived inside you. It's the voice that whispers, "What if I chose differently?" Healing doesn't mean erasing what came before, it means transforming it. Maybe the women before you couldn't speak. Maybe they were punished for dreaming too big, for loving too loudly, for saying no. You are not here to carry their silence. You are here to give it a voice, and every time you speak your truth, you are setting them free too. Jung believed the collective unconscious stores the stories of our lineage, and when we heal ourselves, we alter the collective. Your healing is not selfish, it's sacred. When you begin to untangle yourself from inherited patterns, you may face resistance from your own mind, from others. This is natural. The ego clings to what's familiar, even if that familiarity hurts. But familiar doesn't mean aligned. You might worry about what others will think. You might feel like you're betraying your roots. But loyalty doesn't mean living in pain. True loyalty is evolution. The women before you survived so that you could thrive. They fought battles so that you could live freely. Don't let guilt stop you from claiming the freedom they never had. There will be grief in this process. Grief for the parts of yourself you had to abandon. Grief for the time lost in roles that weren't yours. But grief is not the end. It's the beginning of awakening. As you begin to live in alignment with your truth, you'll notice shifts. The relationships that once drained you lose their hold. The internal chaos begins to quiet. Opportunities begin to mirror your new energy. You begin attracting people who see the real you, not the version of you that sacrificed, conformed, or hid. And in that space, you'll realize something life-changing. You are not broken. You were simply conditioned to believe you had to be someone else. Jung's work teaches us that healing happens through integration, not rejection. We don't need to fight the past. We need to bring it into consciousness, to understand it, to choose differently. And in choosing differently, you become the author of a new chapter in your family's story. Not one rooted in pain, but in consciousness. You'll still feel fear. You'll still doubt yourself, but now you'll know what to do with those emotions. You'll see them for what they are, remnants of a system that no longer fits the truth of who you are. This isn't just healing. This is remembrance, remembering the woman you were always meant to be. So let me ask you this. What part of your lineage are you ready to release? What belief have you carried that no longer serves you? What version of yourself is finally ready to be seen? Share it in the comments below, because your voice might be the spark for someone else's awakening. You never know whose story you might help rewrite. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing healing. And remember, you are not alone. This journey is yours, but its ripples will touch generations. We'll see each other again soon. Until then, keep listening to that voice within, because that's where the healing begins.